Oh boy, here I go killing again.
Hey guys, and welcome to another Jujutsu Kaisen chapter review. Today we're moving on to chapter 158. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I appreciate you clicking on it and watching. If you like anime and manga content, definitely hit the subscribe button and hit the bell if you want to get more anime and manga content sent right to your feed. We've got an awesome chapter this week, so I'm excited to get right into it. We kick off with the gang getting Hakari and Kirara up to speed about what has happened since the Shibuya Incident, and Hakari is very surprised Gojo got sealed. I mean, who wouldn't be? Panda also drops the bomb on the entire gang that Principal Yaga has been taken out as well. It's really awful at this point because you can really see any kind of information like this really affects Yuji. After Sukuna's rampage during the Shibuya Incident, there's really no way to know the full extent of what happened and the consequences of it. So any kind of information like this really hits home for Yuji, especially within how much disarray everything is. Panda literally has to reassure him that it was a separate occurrence that killed Yaga. And it's really a shame we don't have time to mourn Principal Yaga, but honestly, with the situation at hand, we don't have time to grieve. Sorcerers always move forward, right? Hakari agrees to help the gang in the Culling Games, especially when presented with the info 2 of his role models have been taken out. However, he does plan to help them with one condition. Hakari needs the gang to help him when it comes time to establish new Jujutsu regulations after all of this, and Megumi, being cocky, says that should be no problem at all. Hakari rightfully questions why a first-year sea urchin head like Megumi would be so confident about an affair like that, which Megumi decides to flex on him a little bit that he's the head of the Zenin clan.
Mr. Worldwide!
This is great news for Hakari, who believes there's no way he'll be able to get any pushback if Megumi's on his side, and promptly assumes simp formation. Just from this alone, I can already tell Hakari's gonna be an amazing character. Not even just for laughs, but it shows what he's willing to do for his fever, and if he's gotta suck up to Megumi to get what he wants, he'll do it. Just at that moment, Kogane begins ringing obnoxiously, which it seems like this is just going to be the trend for most modern shonen anime and manga, that all protagonists are going to have a flying, squawking Navi with them.
Hey, listen! Hey, look, hello!
Turns out that a sorcerer, before the Culling Games have even begun by the way, has already achieved not just enough points to make one rule change, but technically 2 rule changes. And this is where we start getting into the hype. We cut over and are introduced to one of the new players and revived sorcerers for the Culling Games, Hajime Kashimo, who technically has just killed at least their 40th person. Pretty brutally, I may add, as we get this awesome panel of Hajime staring through the hole that he just shot through this man's chest. I've seen a lot of theories revolving around the sorcerer's identity, and I don't want to entertain any of them until we get more confirmation. Either way, I'm very excited. Our new character Hajime seems very indifferent about killing all of these sorcerers, and he claims that they're weaker compared to the sorcerers from 400 years ago. He sneers, asking where Sukuna is. And this is really where the entire plot of the Culling Games begins folding into itself. Apparently, Kenjaku made multiple vows with sorcerers and curses of old to turn them into cursed objects that would be ingested by humans only to be revived later in the future, and it seems perhaps part of this vow and contract may have been to participate in the Culling Games in the future. Now this is where it gets a little fishy, because now we've got a sorcerer here that's apparently 400 years old that apparently knows who Sukuna is, whose reign as King of Curses was over 1,000 years ago. How long ago did Sukuna become a cursed object? Was Sukuna one of the people that made a vow with Kenjaku in order to become a cursed object? Just like our characters look concerned to think about, I'll ask another question. Did Yuji eat Sukuna's finger on his own accord, or was that all of Kenjaku's plan? If any of the previous shonen manga that have been written in the past are anything to go off of, and using that power of the knowledge, if I was to base my answer off of that, I would say yeah, probably. Now, I do have a theory about Sukuna's pact with Yuji based off this new information. If players are going to be passing points of the Culling Games back and forth with each other, and Yuji somehow ends up getting enough points for a rule change, could the 1-minute vow be a plan for the Culling Games? Holy shit. That's a discussion for a whole nother time. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me make a video on that. Either way, to get back on the rails here a little bit, Kogane reminds Hajime about the rule changes, and Hajime, who I imagine is on the hunt for Sukuna at this point, makes a rule to make all player info and locations available to all players. The gang, not having time to focus on the overarching plot, focuses on the main arc that's in front of them at the moment and hatches a plan that may work to their advantage with this new rule. Professor Megumi over here, who has been carrying this team from the start, comes up with the plan to create a rule that will allow them to transfer points with each other and their gang, so that way they can circumvent the 19-day auto death clause. And he also begins to theorize of a rule that may allow players to pay points that will allow them to exit the Culling Games. Hakari mentions that this may conflict with the no rule may bring about the end of the Culling Games, and Megumi does say he has a theory about that as well, which will involve replacement. Either way, Megumi's main plan is to keep everyone from having to kill other sorcerers. Yuji and Megumi decide that the best way to go about their way to get Sumiki out of the Culling Games is to find players with 100 points already, beat them up, and make them make the rule change themselves. With their plan decided, they set their sights on any and all players who have achieved over 100 points already and can make a rule change. And surprisingly enough, there's already 2. Once again, this game hasn't even started, guys. Jeez. Kashimo Hajime still has 100 points on them already, and we get introduced to the second player with 102 points, Higuruma Hiromi. It's this guy with the gavel, and I'm pretty sure this is the guy that we saw a couple chapters earlier on the panel with Sumiki. Gege is not afraid to just start throwing characters at us, and honestly, I completely trust him completely, and I'm sure they'll all be bangers. I am honestly so excited for all of the fights that are going to be in this arc. The chapter ends with the gang setting their sights on both Hajime and Hirumi, ready to hunt them down, which I don't think you guys may have to look far for one of them. What did you guys think of this chapter? Are you guys as hyped as I am to start getting into this brand new arc? I have a feeling a lot of these fights that are going to be coming up are going to be very intense. Who are you most excited to see that we've been introduced to so far? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for staying until the end. If you did, I appreciate all of you for watching. Please like the video if you did. Comment below, let me know what you thought, and if you want to see more content like this, definitely subscribe and hit the bell to get more content sent right into your feed. Thank you so much for catching this one, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.